That's right. It's time for another episode of Bros Who Know, your favorite podcast. Don't even lie and pretend like it's not. I'm Dr. Jeff LaCure. And to my right, as always, with a PhD in life, the legend of the fall himself, Richard Yancey. And we are thrilled again, as we talked about last week. We got a lot of good things to cover in 2026. Rich, what's our topic today? There's so many interesting things happening. What's your thought?
Listen, I think we have to discuss ICE and what happened to Renee.
Yes,
What's your thoughts on that?
great topic, Rich. Good old great topic. Hey, I try to be brief about it, and like we had talked about before, Rich and I are trying to give you a lot of uplifting things to think about material. But as we predicted it, in 2026, there was going to be some things. And so here's how I'm looking at it, Rich. In the big picture, it is a tragedy, right? A mother of three died. And I don't have a but I do have an and. And I do truly believe, and I feel like I have really looked into as much as I can. I wasn't there. I certainly wasn't in that ICE officer's shoes. The however is, as a mother of three, she has a right. That's what's beautiful about this country. She has a right to freedom of expression, an opinion. I don't agree with her opinion, but I agree with her right to share it. You cannot block traffic. You cannot block an intersection. And if an officer of the law, I'm not talking about some rando, an officer of the law says, you got to move, you refuse to move, and then an officer says, get the F out of the car, and you refuse it, right? And I believe, right, that sometimes law enforcement, they overstretch. I absolutely do. And there's no but here. There's an and. We know now that this wasn't her first rodeo, that she had been at other events. And she has a right to be like, I don't think rounding up illegals is a good thing. She has that right. It's a beautiful thing about our country. We also know now she was paid to do, I don't know if she was paid for this one, but she has a history of being paid to show up and do exactly what she did and have her wife on a phone, filming it, antagonizing, and so on. We know that now to be a fact. Richie, you're a father, I'm a father. The world's already a dangerous place. If a law enforcement officer says you need to stop, we need to stop. And do I love the fact that that law enforcement officer took 3 shots? I don't. I understand it, though. He did not know in his head in that moment when she was ordered to stop 3 times. 3 times, get the F out of the car, and then went forward. He doesn't know, is she going to take a sharp left directly into him? And he'd already been hit before. I'm not saying it justifies it. My role is to help understand. And she drove. Her wife said, drive. They put themselves at risk. What mother of 3 shows up to block an intersection? And so it's ugly. I wish it had never happened. And I always pull the onion back, Rich. I always do, to look at how could that have been prevented.
Right.
She didn't have to like it. Mm-hmm. She can hate it. I support her right. But you have no right to block traffic. You have no right to block an intersection. And whether you like it or not, if a law enforcement officer says you have to do, okay, gotcha, I'll step out peacefully from the car, right?
Right.
It's that kind of thing. How about you, Rich? Where are you at with it?
This is complicated.
Absolutely.
It's complicated on both sides, on the officer side point of view and on the protester's point of view. Mm-hmm. I always use this word all the time, Jeff, and it's called being qualified. Mm-hmm. Anything you do, you have to be qualified. Even protests, you got to be qualified. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, she's not qualified to protest, and I'll tell you why. You have to have control over your emotions. You have to. Anytime you create an action, you have to divide the emotions into what you know is your emotional feeling and what's right and what's wrong. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that's the same thing with the law enforcement, ICE. I couldn't do his job. I tell you right now, I wouldn't have shot her. I couldn't do his job. I wouldn't have stepped in front of the car either. I wouldn't, I wouldn't have stepped in front. I would never step in front of a car when a human being is emotional. I know her intent. I believe her intent is not to kill.
I agree.
Okay? So I know that going in. If I was any human being, whether I was law officer or whatever it is, I know her intent is not to kill, but I know because she's emotional that a mistake can happen. Okay? So I'm going to speak briefly on both sides. So, Renee, I'm sorry, my condolences to your family. I'm sorry that happened to you. I wish that never happened to you because you have kids that love you, you got people that love you, etc. And I did feel bad about her losing her life. That was a huge price to pay for her actions. Huge price to pay. But again, you have to be qualified to protest. You have to take responsibility of your life. And how many times have I said that, Jeff? You have to take responsibility of your life.
That's right.
When you go into a situation like that, you have to know when you're cutting people off, when you're not obeying orders, when you're doing whatever you want to do, that there could be a consequence, and that consequence could be your life. Okay? Now, as far as the police is concerned, the ICE is concerned, he could have very well taken that opportunity to shoot her, because once that car touches him, he could just say he was scared for his life. He could have been scared because of what happened to him before.
That's right.
Right? It could have been lots of things. But here's the deal. Once that vehicle touched him, he was in the right to do whatever he wanted to do at that time. One,
I
jump
would
out the
agree.
way.
Right.
Two, just get hit and be on the ground. Three, shoot her, which he did. It could be there's a lot of things he could have done, but he picked the one to shoot her. And because she touched him with the car, I don't think that there's any argument. That's an assault with a dangerous weapon. I don't think there's any argument.
Yeah.
But the sad thing is that we have to figure out, all right, because unfortunately, police, ICE, everyone, they have a responsibility and a duty to protect the stupid. I hate to say it, because that was a dumb thing to do, to drive off in a
Not
car.
smart.
That's
Not smart.
I would, I'm sorry to say it, that was that action wasn't too bright. Okay.
Rich, can I interject real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right back to you, just because you bring up such a good point. I also think it was dumb to show up. She should not have showed up.
Well, the
there.
thing is, she has that protesting. You can't say that. I don't know. In my opinion,
There's other ways to
listen.
protest.
First of all, I'm talking about shit. All these different media platforms showing up now is to me is ridiculous. Because anytime you show up to any of these things,
Yeah.
even as a bystander, like even if I just showed up and I was sitting on the sidewalk, I'm gonna give you something right now. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Once that officer shot her, that car became a projectile that didn't have
It sure
any
did.
kind of. There was no one controlling that vehicle.
That's right.
I could have just went there just to be for support,
Right.
to tell everyone listen to protest, and got hit by that car
Right.
and died. So what I'm saying to you is that when you're protesting, anyone who's going to protest, you have to know that there's an element there that you could be risking your life. Listen, you're throwing snowballs, you're throwing bottles
Right.
at officers. These officers, these ICE officers are human beings too.
That's right.
They get hit in the head with a rock
Yep.
and just point a gun and shoot you. Yeah, you might be right that you should have got shot, but you still shot.
That's right.
Once you take these actions, you open up a can of worms that you don't know what you're endangering yourself, and you're putting your kids in jeopardy. Now she doesn't have any. Now her
That's
kids
right.
don't have a mom.
Yeah.
And all for what? Like
For
what
what?
did you prove? Now I'll tell you
For
what.
what?
I'm gonna tell you what she did now.
Yeah.
Because she died. Now there's a wake up call, as you suggest. There's a wake up call of saying, listen, you got to take. You have to be one, qualified. You got to take responsibility of your life, and number three, now you know that there is some danger. You go out there. Listen, I have a lot of respect for myself. Okay, so I'm not saying that the protesters don't, but here's what I'm telling you. If I throw an ice ball, like first of all, what am I doing as an adult throwing like a snowball at an ICE agent, and then I get smacked in the face? Imagine getting smacked in the face as a male, as a
Right.
human being, as a man. Some ICE agent smacks me in the face. You know how degrading that is?
Absolutely.
Like, why do I didn't go there to be degraded, but
Right.
when you're degrading yourself when you're throwing a snowball at another human being that even though it's a snowball, you're an adult. What are you doing throwing snowballs at people? That's an
That's right.
assault as well.
Absolutely.
Now you throw a snowball and you hit him, he shoots you, and you die. You're gonna say that's a lethal. That's unlawful. But
Well, it's legal
once you-
use of force.
yeah, you can't touch other people.
No. See,
The whole
here-
thing's a mess.
See,
The whole thing's a mess,
We're on the
Jeff.
same page, Rich, and I'll tell you, just to add another layer to it. Again, I support her right to protest.
Yes, listen. I concur. I
Right.
support it.
That's not a protest, however. She is committing a crime. You and I drove to the studio today. We have no right to go out to Route 16 and say we're angry about anything and block traffic. But
That's
we
not
do-
even the problem, though. The blocking traffic. Listen, I don't support that.
Mm-hmm.
But look, that's fine. I'm telling you, you want to do that, that's fine. But pointing your car towards someone or trying to leave us.
I don't even think you have a right, because I'm loving what I see sometimes.
Right.
That people are getting out of their cars and dragging some protester out of the way. You have no right
Right.
to impede me. It's
No,
a law.
you
You have
don't,
no
but
right.
I'm telling you-
So the mistake that these, quote, paid protesters make, and there's no mistake, it's very planful, carry a sign outside of a police precinct, outside of a state trooper precinct, or even an ICE office, which are sort of hidden. But carry a sign. You can say, "I sucks, this country sucks," whatever you want to say. But you cannot block traffic. And when it's, Richie, it's sort of like you and I would go to a soccer match in England,
Right.
because there's some soccer hooligans there. And we know you and I are the only two people in that stadium that support the other team.
Right.
And we start going, this team stinks, and we carry signs about our team. Somebody's coming at us. Does
of
it make it a
course.
right? No.
No.
But we know when we put ourselves in that situation, I'm going to call it what it is. It's a DAM. It's a dumb-ass move that a mother or father should never make.
Listen,
Ever.
adults should make that.
And you know what
adults
else
should
it
make
does
that.
too? And then I'll flip it back to you. You talked about it really nicely last week about a country divided. And that's what it does. The Democrats are going, she was murdered. Unbelievable. ICE are tyrants. ICE are murderers, right? And it supports that narrative. And conservatives are like me, are looking at it going, this is tragic. This should have never happened. I
Right.
disagree with the result, but I support the means, right?
Right.
That she should have never been there. You can't block traffic.
Well,
you want to carry a sign on the
Right.
sidewalk?
She
feel
could,
free.
and I'm going to say, and this is where I'm telling you, we
Can't
agree.
block it.
I agree with you, but I don't care if she blocked traffic. As long as
Yeah.
she got out the car when the ICE told her to get out the car,
Which
and as
she
long
didn't
as she
do.
didn't drive into an ICE, she could. I'm telling you, if you want to block traffic and pay the consequences of that, that's fine.
There's been
here,
no consequences.
Here, I think the consequences. I'm telling you, doesn't justify the means on this one.
Right.
I'm telling you, she shouldn't be dead, but she did hit someone with a vehicle.
Yeah.
Another thing, this is protesting. Listen, I give everyone a right to protest.
That's the beauty of our country.
This is what I don't think you should do. ICE agents, they have a job. They were told what to do. You can't get mad at the messenger.
Right.
He's doing the job. Like, you're not harming Trump. You're not harming the government when you're yelling at a human being that has a kid, too. He has a kid. He has a job. He's doing what he's told. And how dare anyone
Correct.
throw snowballs at someone who's doing their job?
Correct.
Granted, I wouldn't take that job, but it doesn't matter. That's his job. That's how he feeds his family. That's how he, that's what he wanted to do. You know what I mean? Now, you could get mad at him, but he's not the one. He cannot do anything that he doesn't like. He's not doing anything that he's not told to do.
Doing his job.
He's doing his job, and that's like me impeding anybody who's doing their job. I'm telling you, you have to respect them for doing their job, and their job is not an easy job. Imagine going to work and getting throw balls snowed at you.
And you know what?
Getting
you know
kicked
how,
and-
Richie, I talk about peeling back the onion and looking at the
Right.
cause, the root cause. I don't want to sound like Kamala Harris. So glad you lost, Kamala. You weren't qualified. But here's the point. You peel back the onion. ICE's job is to remove someone who is here illegally. It's not a character. They're not going, well, this person's a really good person.
They're doing what they're told.
They're doing their job. And under the Biden administration, we know of 20 million, but it's suspected that the number's double that, right? So one administration said, hey, come on in. Come on in. No, seriously, come on in.
Mm-hmm.
And wither away resources, right? Wither away resources. But we welcome you. Come on in. We open the door.
That's a different subject.
Well, it's a very different, but it's related because if we had a immigration policy that was actually enforced,
No matter which way
we
you
don't
go.
have this crisis of where we feel like we have to
We
start
had it,
removing
but,
people.
Jeff, we had it on both sides. We had someone that welcomed in, and we have someone that kicked them out, and there was still there were protests on both sides.
There's very few
I know.
protests
Listen.
around immigration.
Well,
the protests are the people who are upset about
There's
us
still
kicking
protests.
them out.
Listen, I know, but there's still protests, and this is what I don't want to kind of. I think this is very important with the Renee situation, and I'll tell you
Mm-hmm.
why. The reason why it's very important is, and the reason why it even bothers me because I hate to see this woman killed. I tell you that right now.
It's a tragedy.
It is a tragedy
that she
and
did to herself.
Listen, but this is what I'm saying to you, the thought process behind it. You can't go into a situation where you have ICE that carry guns, mace, all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah.
They carry lethal weapons,
On
and you're
purpose.
going there with rocks and water bottles and snowballs, and you're poking the bear. For
they're
what? Like,
poking.
what do you think is going to happen? Listen,
You know why she thought it wasn't gonna happen?
Listen, the probability of someone getting killed
Mm-hmm.
over time is high. I'm glad it's just one person so far, but over time, when you're poking the bear,
Mm-hmm.
running your car into people, throwing things at people,
Mm-hmm.
one of the ICE agents is going to, whether it's right, wrong, and just whatever it is going to use lethal force.
That's right.
And for what? What has got accomplished because of this?
Nothing.
There's nothing. Only thing that got accomplished is this.
3 kids have no
Renee,
home.
Renee and protesters need to take responsibility for their life.
Right.
It's okay to legally protest. Don't
That's right.
once you throw something at someone,
It's over.
you started it.
That's not a protest.
Once you hit your vehicle to someone, look, let me tell you something. And I'm just saying this. I'm not saying this is true. But if he wanted to murder someone, you just gave him a legal
Yeah.
way to murder you now.
And you know he didn't wake up with that. Grant
No.
me this, though, Rich. Grant
I
me
know he
this.
didn't. I don't know him though. I know he
Show
didn't.
me a group of conservatives who have burned down cities,
That's
who
not
have
what I'm saying.
blocked
What I'm s-
traffic. No,
right.
I know you're not saying, but
What I'm saying,
show
yeah,
me a
what I'm
group
saying-
of conservatives
right. I know what you're saying.
that block traffic, throw shit at law enforcement
I'm not even
professionals.
going to that. That's yeah. I
right?
get you. No, I get
we
you.
know it's a segment.
What I'm saying to if he
it's a
did,
segment.
if he did get up and said I'm going to murder someone, I'm not saying he did. Hopefully he's not. I don't know him from over
Yeah.
the wall. I'm not pointing a finger at him. Make sure this is not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he murdered her. What I am saying is if he did get up
Mm-hmm.
to murder someone, she gave him a legal way to murder somebody. Once that vehicle touched him, that's it. It's only what he believes.
But
at that point.
here's the point I want to make as we sort of bring this all together. For years, particularly under the Biden administration and at the tail end of the Trump administration, round one, police were told to stand down, so protesters did anything they want. They burned shit down, and very few of them got arrested, right? Some did.
Right.
But they
Okay.
went after officers. You saw it, right? They had
You can
their
always rebuild.
their
I'm not-
riot
yep.
stuff, and now we have a mindset, at least in a lot of law enforcement communities. Guess what? We're not doing. You're not throwing things at us. You're not shooting us. You're not
Burning
burning
things
cities
down
down.
is different than hitting a person with a vehicle.
The only difference is she hit one person.
Right.
But that same mindset.
No,
of
it is the same mindset.
That
yeah.
you can't touch me. I can do whatever I want, and the police are
Well,
bad or law
right.
enforcement is bad. She has that mentality.
Right.
And what's the goal, Rich? Why would you have to pay somebody to protest? What's the goal?
Just the goal. I tell you what the goal is. The goal is just to cause drama,
That's right.
just to cause friction.
And it worked.
Well, actually,
The people who paid her I swear, are behind closed doors laughing their heinies off.
For
Going,
what? They're not making
sure
any.
it did.
It's not making
pu-
any.
it
It's not making any
created
traffic.
it created more of a rift because people are saying she got murdered. She didn't get murdered.
Well, so she didn't
She
get,
didn't get
no,
murdered?
No, but she died. She didn't get murdered. She died. She
That's
would have
what
got.
I'm
Listen,
saying, but
she would
they
have
are
got murdered
saying-
if she
they're
would have got
saying she
murdered.
got murdered.
She
She
would have
didn't
got
get
murdered if she did never touched him with the vehicle. She would have got murdered.
She would have got murdered if wasn't a paid protester to go agitate.
Listen, so
and do
my
you ever
message-
notice that it's a lot of, and I hate to ever bring up color,
Yeah.
that it's mostly white, mostly women, and mostly women over 40. And we also now know many of them are funded. So there's a
be,
mindset.
yeah.
And your prediction for 2026 has already happened, which is we are a country
Oh,
divided.
divided.
And guess what that goal was? That
Oh,
wasn't
yes.
about.
Well, it's going. That's why we're Bros Who Knows. 'Cause I'm gonna tell you something. This is what I could tell the camera and tell everyone out there for Bros Who Knows. When I get pulled over, I put my hand on the steering wheel.
Absolutely.
And I roll down the window and I say, "Yes, officer. How may I help you?"
Mm-hmm.
My job. I have a job.
Obligation.
For an obligation for the police officer to make sure that he feels safe.
Absolutely.
Just like I want to feel safe. I have
That's
to make
right.
sure he feels safe
That's
because
right.
he has a family that he has to go to. It's his job, his duty to make sure that I drive safely so I don't hurt you. So when I get pulled over, I'm not going to have an attitude. I'm going to
Yep.
say, "Hello, officer. How are you? How may I, what can I make
Yeah.
this, how can I help you?"
What's happening?
And that's it. And if I don't like what he says, we have another system called due process.
Spot on, Rich.
I'll check the box where it says if I want to dispute it. I'll send it in, and then I'll fight the case.
That's right.
But what I won't do is call him a name, give
That's
him an
right.
attitude,
Reach
make
in
sure,
your glove box.
reach in my glove, because at the end of the day, we have to have a mutual respect here.
That's right.
And we have an obligation as someone who gets pulled over too. Like I said, we have to make sure that he feels safe. Because God forbid, you know how many times he probably went to a car and someone had a gun in the car, or someone tried to hurt him or her or whatever it may be. So as protesters, you have a moral obligation to make sure those ICE agents feel safe. They're human beings that are doing their job. Now, if you don't like what they're doing, yes, protest, but don't harm them. Don't throw things at them, because now you're the problem.
That's
it's
right.
not the ICE that's the problem. You are the problem.
And who's funding the problem, Rich?
Listen, I don't even know, so I can't talk about things I don't know.
That I do know, and they are being heavily funded.
So who's funding
As a
it?
matter of fact,
So who's funding it?
I'll send it to. Well, we know George Soros is behind. He's
Well,
a
I don't know.
gazillionaire.
So I have a
no,
thing-
no, it's
All right, but
documented.
you have to-
I
you
will
know me.
send you.
Unless I seize it, I
I'm
can't
going to
believe
send
it.
you, and hopefully we can put it on the post. Somebody found this. Just because it's on Facebook doesn't mean it's true with AI and everything. But somebody posted up to $1,500 looking for people to protest that you can get paid, right? There's no question we've had whistleblowers who said, I was a paid protester, right? We've known that since they burned our cities down. They knew that people protesting in these cities never even lived in these cities,
Right.
right? And it worked. It created Joe Biden because Americans said, holy shit, cities are burning down. It's not safe. And Biden said, I promise to bring peace. Of course, he didn't,
No, you can't.
right? But again,
But either way,
I'm
but
going
I
to
know.
let me close this piece, just this
Well, I
piece,
wanna
and then
finish-
come
okay,
back,
okay.
and I'll let you
All right,
finish
go
it. Which is it's irrefutable, bros who know. It's not even debatable that conservatives are not burning cities down, are not throwing snowballs at any law enforcement professionals, right? They're not doing that kind of thing. And even when Biden was president, show me, I challenge anybody who's watching this, we'll happily have you on. Show me when a group of conservatives got together and burned shit down or tried to shoot a president or did this or did that. It doesn't happen. There's some crazy out there,
Right.
but not in the same way that we see happening in our cities.
And listen, I understand that, and that's
Yeah.
but my thing is this: when I heard that Renee died, I was sad that day. I'm still
Absolutely.
sad right now. It's part of the reason why I'm so excited right now, because I'm a little upset about that.
Yeah.
And the reason why is it's not because I'm not mad at what she did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad at the result. The result is that there's a woman out there that died because of her actions that could have been avoided in millions of ways. It could have been avoided, and for what? Okay, for what?
I
You
agree.
can't.
What did she gain?
The country's divided. Okay, and we have a woman that lost her life for what? And the thing, and what I want to drive home to all the viewers is, who cares about liberals and the left side, the right side? Human beings. What happened to humanity? We have to figure out. Like, listen, she was angry. She was emotional.
She was paid.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether she's paid or not. She's emotional. She's in her car. We have ICE agents. They're trying to keep their emotions intact. But you have an emotional group that's throwing things, that's driving reckless, that's
Interfering with an
yeah,
arrest.
Yeah, and all those things, and even though all those things are not warrant for her death, there's still, those are stepping stones. Those are those are the ingredients of a situation that's going to go in that direction.
And it did.
And what we want from bros who know is to say, look, once you leave your house, take responsibility of your life. Once a snowball leaves your hand, know that your life's in jeopardy. Once you go to an event that's hostile, even if you're not hostile, you're going to be treated like the rest of the clan.
Absolutely.
Hostile.
That's right.
If you go to an event that's hostile, leave. If they go to an event and they're doing things you don't like, leave. If a police officer tells you to stop, just stop. Deal with it later on. We have a legal system for that. Take responsibility of your life. If not, then when you lose it, you can't get mad at anyone but yourself. We have kids now that don't have a mother now.
That's
We
right.
have a married woman now without, and let me tell you something, you're part of that problem too. When you're sitting there instigating her, you're part of that problem too. Shame on you for doing that.
She did.
Yeah,
She
you're
threw
part
her
of that
wife-
problem too.
She threw her wife under the
Yeah,
bus.
I'm going to tell you something, because I'm going to tell you this, and I can't say it strong enough. The ICE agents have a job. Whether they're right or wrong or indifferent, that's their job. Don't touch them. Now, if you want to protest. Don't touch them. Because once you touch them, you open up that can of worms. Anything that happens to you, your fault. Go ahead.
I agree. I mean, I agree. And
Right?
again, just to add a layer to it as we begin to wrap, Rich, don't go to an event. That's not even an event. Do not put yourself in a situation as a parent that you're going to risk your own life
Right.
for people who didn't give a shit enough about their own life to come here the right way. Right?
Well, like
Come
I said,
here the right way.
Well, they have to protest.
Come
they wanna
here the right
protest on
way.
that. Yeah, they have.
And again, we may differ a little on this, Rich, which is
No, it's
beautiful.
not that
but
I don't care about that. So
see,
that's what I'm saying. I don't.
You're talking about, we all got to get along, and I agree.
Right.
What I'm highlighting, and I'll continue to highlight, it ain't conservatives who don't want to get along.
Right. That so no
Right.
no. So we have an understanding to it. I'm just not bringing my political views into it. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I don't care. Because the thing is, this is about Renee.
What did
I don't care.
what did the mayor of Minneapolis say when he did his program?
That's his view. That's why I don't care what he says. That's his view.
See, I do. You know why?
I don't.
Because Whack Jobs listened to him, and he said, "F ICE, get the F out of here." Does that encourage people to do exactly what you're saying, which is use your head, be smart, don't be in a hostile
Well, here's the
environment?
so here's
or
the
does
problem.
it
Here's the
encourage
problem.
what
Look,
happened last
whether-
night?
whether-
Let me just throw this out.
Yeah.
Last night, a police officer in the cruiser got ambushed. Somebody drove right by him, threw a Molotov kind of a thing in. I forget what
Again,
city
wrong.
it is, right? You
Yeah,
saw it.
Wrong. Yeah.
The rhetoric of, right, you and I are not throwing out violent rhetoric, are we? We're trying to prevent violence.
Right.
But I will speak out when the mayor and other people, and including our senators, say that ICE officer is a murderer, that the people who hired him are Hitler. See, that marginalizes somebody and makes it easier.
Listen.
And that can't be. But in
No,
principle,
no,
we agree that
No,
you need to get along, but we
Right.
have to call out wrong.
Well, so the thing is, so that's what I'm trying to tell you. So
Yeah.
when you get into that when you get to where we're calling out people that's going to say the wrong things, they're going to say the wrong things. I'm telling you, you'll never be able to fix that. Like I said, it's not the ICE agent. If you can't yell at the ICE agent and say, "Listen, ICE agent, get out of here." You got to say, "Listen, government, take the ICE agent out of our city." Trump, take the ICE agents out of that city. They're there because they were told to be there, and they're there legally, and they're there doing their job.
If you were the mayor, Rich, would you say, get the F out of my city?
If I was a mayor, I'm gonna tell you right now. If I was a mayor,
Or would you say, people, be smart. You have a
listen,
right
if
to
I was
protest,
if I was
but
a,
be smart.
if I was a mayor, I would say this: what happened today? It's tragic.
Absolutely you would.
That woman should never. I don't care under any circumstances. She
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be dead.
That's right.
As a law enforcement, you're supposed to protect the dumb,
Mm-hmm.
protect the people that you don't like, protect the people that you think are doing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I don't know what happened with the situation. If I was a judge and juror, I would say that the ICE agent was not guilty
Mm-hmm.
because he's not. He was touched by a car. She made it very legal for him to shoot her. But as a mayor, I would say to my people in my city,
That's right.
I would say, listen, leave the ICE agents. Like, if you want to protest with the ICE agents, protest, but don't touch them. And if you want to swear, I wouldn't even swear. It's not their fault. That's like me getting upset. Like, if Walgreens or CVS had a problem with their their return policy, they have a return policy, right? And the policy says that they will not take an item if you lost the receipt. Me yelling at the salesperson is not
Doesn't
not
do
their
anything.
fault.
Right.
Like, me wasting my time yelling at the salesperson, they're gonna say, "Listen, I can't return it." What do you mean you can't return it? You're an asshole. You're
Right.
this. Like, you're blah blah. Like, doing that doesn't do anything. All that does is ruin that person's day for making whatever money they make an hour.
It makes you look like a
Right.
what?
That's what you're doing with the ICE agents. You're yelling at someone that's doing their job. Like, that's
Right.
not their fault. So when the government, when the mayor says to leave to fuck off and you guys leave,
And calls a murderer.
you can't. Yeah, you can't. I'm telling you, that's wrong too. But what I'm saying
Yeah.
is, you're yelling at the wrong people. You're mad at the wrong people. Those people are going there doing their job.
And you know why that mayor said what he said.
Well, of course, he's just going with that.
But
listen,
why did he say what he said?
Because I'm gonna tell you why. Because right now, we pass the buck. We
But why
just
did
try
he
to
say it?
because he's trying to please his side.
Because if
You can't do
he
that.
doesn't, they don't vote for him, and what
Right,
does he
yeah,
lose?
Of course,
He
course.
loses his power.
But that doesn't mean I'm talking to the Renees. I'm saying Renees, forget about everything else. The Renees in the world.
What do
Forget
we
about
know
everything
about Renee?
else. Listen, it doesn't matter. She's a mother. It
And
doesn't matter. She's a mother and she's a human being. And she didn't go out there equipped with the right knowledge. Had she known that she cannot do whatever she wanted to do, she wouldn't be in this situation.
so it's safe to say she's ignorant.
You can say whatever she wants. She's not here anymore.
That's right. It's not a smart
I don't
choice.
want to. Yeah, listen. The choice was absolutely stupid. Okay, and I'm not here to put down.
So I'm not saying she's stupid, but you're right. She made a stupid decision,
Stupid decision.
right?
Okay, but it's not gonna reason because she died is the reason why we're talking about this now.
What would you say, and we'll wrap here because we're getting deep. Such a great topic. I'm so glad you brought it up, Rich. It's a good one. What would you say? I know it's different. There's different vibes. But let's say that I went to a bar. I'm trying to even imagine what that's like. And I have 24 beers. I drive. I get in my car. I drive. I hit somebody, and I die. I die. Whose fault is it?
It's your fault.
Absolutely.
Listen, let me tell you something.
And you know what? You know whose fault it is she died?
Listen, that's what I was
It's
trying to tell you.
sadly it's her fault.
So-
And if I had died because I had too much to drink and made a dumbass decision, I bet you'd still feel bad for me. You'd be like, "Man, Jeff, well, you wouldn't say it to me because I'm dead, but would you say, wow, it's really tragic. He made a dumb choice. She made a dumb choice."
So the difference between this is that everyone knows if you drive impaired, there's a possibility you can get into a car accident and die. We know that. Every human being knows that.
But we have
What
40,000
protesters
deaths, so
don't
it
know,
happens.
what protesters don't know, is that they think that just by yelling at the cop, I didn't. So if she came in there with an intent to hurt,
She did.
I don't believe she did.
She intended to block traffic.
No,
and you
she-
say
not- I don't think
if she knew.
I know
You know
for
what
a
she
fact.
knew, Rich?
I don't know for a fact, but my gut instinct tells me she didn't have an intent to kill.
No,
an
I
ICE
believe
agent,
you. But
okay?
she had an intent to be there because she
No,
got
she had
got
intent to be
paid.
there. No, listen, I'm not saying
She was doing
those
her
are two different
job.
things. Yeah, I said I know
She
she
actually
didn't
did
have
her job.
intent to hurt someone. So what I'm saying to you is this
What was her intent?
Her intent was to cause drama, to cause.
And she did it. What was my intent when I got in the car? My intent was not to drive and kill myself.
No, but listen, we all
And how
know-
does that
we have
person
education,
feel
though. We have education
that I hit and I
Right.
die?
There's education knowing that once you drive drunk, there's so many commercials about young people getting killed of a drunk driver, old people getting killed, everyone getting killed by a
You
drunk
and I are
driver.
smart people. We know, because you said it very eloquently and clearly. So I'll paraphrase it. People, don't go to a hostile protest. You're putting
No,
yourself
don't do
at risk.
it. Because you're part of the
She
Klan.
knew
No, she
that
doesn't
there
know
were
that.
armed ICE officers
Listen.
there, and she knew that her wife was filming
Can I
him
tell
and
you something?
antagonizing him.
Listen,
And you know
let me
what
tell
she
you
did?
something.
She just smiled,
There's
said, "No,
a-
I don't have to listen to you."
Let me tell you something. You know,
That's not an ignorant woman.
Listen, I have in relationships.
She's college educated.
Look, in relationships.
Yeah.
I have I had a girlfriend like years ago that got mad at me and pushed me in the chest.
She went to one of those?
Yeah, knowing that I can look at the size of me. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
What I'm saying to you
What did
is,
she think wouldn't happen?
I'm gonna tell you what's going on, Jeff. It's more than that. It's people are not living in reality. Reality played out.
It sure
That's
did.
reality.
It sure
But
did.
when you go and you're not living in reality and you're doing reality that you're doing things that's gonna cause true reality,
Mm-hmm.
that's what's gonna happen. That's the outcome.
So
People are in fantasy land. Like when you're in listen, when you go out there and you think that you're doing something right and you're throwing snowballs at
she knew. People
that's- yeah.
know.
No, but
so
they're in
let me.
fantasy
I'll
land.
give you this.
They're in fantasy
I
land.
believe that what she did is the perfect example. I'm going to keep it clean. Mess around and find out. You and
love
I
that.
both know that if we went
She
to
never thought she
an-
was gonna die.
if
She
we-
never thought she was gonna die.
Exactly, but mess around, you find out. And you know that if you go to an event, not an event, you go to where ICE agents are doing their job and you interfere with it, you're putting yourself at jeopardy.
They don't know that.
They do, and they're paid to do it. In the same way, if you and I went, and this is an odd example, but I'll use it, we went to a gathering with 20 black folks and used the N-word, like especially me because I don't look black and I say it, mess around and find out. When you
Yeah,
you
but
said
that's a
it at
little
the
diff-
beginning.
yeah, but that's a little
You
different,
got
though.
it's not different.
It is
You have
different.
to know that if you
It
show
is
up
different.
and block an intersection and impede an
I'll tell you
ICE
how it's
agent,
different. I'll tell you how it's different.
not different.
I'll
Rich.
tell you how it's different.
Yeah,
You know that. That's just like you know that if you drive
she
drunk.
knew it.
Okay, listen. When you're told that nothing's gonna happen to you, that you go in there, you can throw snowballs at them. You can do whatever you want.
That's the
nothing's
old
gonna happen
regime.
to you. Listen, nothing's gonna happen to you.
That's the
When
old
you
regime.
really believe that, right? Then you really think nothing's gonna happen to you.
Yes,
Okay, and for the majority, guess what? Nothing happens to them.
that's right.
Okay, but for this
So they
situation,
keep doing
this situation, that's why we're discussing this, because in this situation, this is reality.
Mm-hmm.
Reality is you keep poking people, you keep poking the bear, and then
Mm-hmm. Mess
look,
around
She got away
and
with
find
it
out.
on one day. She got away with it 2 days. She got away with it third day. By the fourth, fifth day, I don't know what it
And
was.
she's protested
she
all over the
died.
country.
Yeah, she ends up dying. Now, what do we learn? I don't care about the landscape of the whole thing. What can we learn from this? What we can learn is this. Like I said before, you have to take responsibility of your life, and you have to make sure that once you interact with people and you touch them, or you're with a crowd that's hostile, you have to understand that you yourself might not come home that day.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
That's my point.
And
my
we're on the
point is-
same page. I'm just calling it mess around and
Yes.
and find out.
Unfortunately, she messed around and her kids found out. Because
Right.
she's no longer here anymore. Her wife
Right.
found out.
I hope her kids, when they're older, they don't sue ICE. They sue who hired this woman. She has to be responsible for her own dumbass choice. She should have never been
Well,
there.
listen,
and
you know.
who gets paid to protest?
It's a terrible
Well,
thing.
I'll tell you what, Rich. What a lively conversation. You know what I'd like to do? We'll see if we can pull it off because we got this beautiful couch right here.
But you get some people here, right?
Yeah, let's get some people in that might be completely different and think that guy's a hardcore murderer. It'd be interesting to have a conversation with. Hey, speaking of good conversations, on behalf of Rich, the lone wolf.
Now I'm a lone wolf. 'Cause I didn't agree with you. No. Listen,
The lone wolf of podcast.
there's nothing lone about me. I come in a tribe, okay?
That's it. No,
we're
I got you, man.
We just gotta
Yeah.
think. I'm just like I said. I can believe whatever I want to believe. But
That's
I have
right.
empathy. I have empathy for her. And her
Thank
family.
God you do, right?
know?
Thank God you do. Seriously, because when we lose empathy for each other, it's over.
Right.
Hey, on behalf of Dr. Richard Yancey, who
Say
has
something
his,
good.
Yeah, what's that?
Say something good. I like the vape. Like
Absolutely.
Doc, like say something good. Go ahead. You can do it. You can do it.
What,
Jeff.
for me?
Yeah. Could you just call me the lone wolf?
No, I said on
You
behalf.
want me to call you a bunny rabbit?
No, don't call me that. Call me the. I can't even think of. Call me the evil doctor. There you go. On behalf of
Come on, you can do it.
Richard Yancey, who has his PhD in life. I'm Dr. Jeff LaCure. This has been
Thank
another
you.
wonderful episode of Bros Who Know. And guess what, folks? We're going to see you next week. And we just might, if we get a pan out to this couch right here, we're going to
Yes.
put somebody in the hot
And
seat.
we're gonna torture them too.
Yeah. Hey, if there's anybody out there that'd like to debate us or have
Oh,
it,
yes,
it's
love
not
it.
even so much a debate, but a healthy
it.
conversation, reach out to us at liqueurej@yahoo.com. We love you. Until next week, we'll see you soon.